Hello and welcome to Wizards on Fire, the show where students interview WHS teachers and staff while eating progressively hotter wings. We want to give a huge shout out to Windsor Wing Shack for providing some of our sauces today and our wings. Please scan the QR code in the bottom right of the screen to see the many specials the Windsor Wing Shack has to offer. I'm your host, Camden Smith. Today joined with me, we have teachers and coaches, Mr. Rakiecki and Mr. Brockway. Gentlemen, are you ready for the wings of Satan?
Yes.
No.
All right, well, we're gonna get into wing number one. We have Wing Shack Hot. All right, let's go, guys. It's go time. Are you? All right.
Easy
So
peasy.
this question is for both of you. As coaches for our boys basketball teams from all levels, you've created this sort of bond and brotherhood throughout our whole program. What did you learn from your times as athletes in high school and college that made you become such great coaches?
Go ahead, man.
Well, I mean, obviously, just being a really good player is one thing, but being able to come together and do what you're good at, I guess, and bring all that into like a team is something that I've learned and I brought into. It's like, I always tell our kids, like, anybody can drop 30 a night if you shoot enough times, right? But you got to find the things that you're good at and excel and use those. And then once you figure that out, you can become a really good team.
I had some good coaches. I had some bad coaches. I think a lot of the things I learned that I apply is what not to do from the negative coaching experiences that I've had, and so I learned a lot on what not to do. How not to treat a player or a team. And so I try to do the opposite in a lot of ways of some of the coaches that I played under.
Really nice, yeah. So then now I feel like we're just gonna move on to the next wing if you guys are ready.
Sure.
Yeah,
We'll just get it moving.
Yeah, let's
easy.
keep
Might
it
as well
moving.
peel the Band-Aid off. Now we have Wing Shack Garlic Hot. And yeah, let's get into it. You can feel it on your tongue a little bit. All right. So, this question's for you, Rack.
Yes, sir.
What's your obsession with fire? And can you tell me about the time you burned down your barn in your canoe?
Oh, that's a great question. I think I was a pyromaniac when I was a kid. People are going to think I'm really weird. I am. I lived in the desert in Fruita, Colorado, and I had this infatuation with burning ants.
Oh.
Okay. And
With like a magnifying glass or just like
No,
lighter
no,
and stuff,
I do
or
some weird
matches?
stuff. I'd like get the ants all mad, and I'd be doing this out in my yard, just on my own. My parents would be gone or something like that, and that's what happened on this day. I'd piss off the ant pile, and then I'd get some lighter fluid and like do a little thing around the ant pile, and then I'd light it on fire and see what they did. And pretty weird. The one particular day, I don't know what happened, I don't remember, but it was right by our barn and our garden and my dad's fishing boat. And I don't know if there was a spark or if there was wind or whatever it was, but the fire spread around the shed and then under the canoe or the boat. And I'm running, trying to get my mom and getting the fire hose and try to put it out. And then my dad came home that night and there was everything was burned. And I got in trouble that day. But yeah, I like fires. I like making fires but not burning fires down or burning homes or boats or whatever down.
Yeah, all right. Brockway, now you have a question. Can you tell us about the time you insisted that turning off your car radio would save gas?
I assume my wife provided you with this information, or maybe my cousin Mark. Probably was, really, to be honest with you, it was probably from my cousin Mark. He's one of my best friends back in Illinois, and I can remember not having the same taste in music. So I think I might have used that as an excuse to say, hey man, got to turn the radio off because I got to save gas. Growing up where I grew up in Illinois, not a lot of money. I can remember only putting like $1 a time in my tank. And so I can remember thinking, all right, turn the radio off. It's going to save some fuel, which I know now is not true.
At what age did you learn that?
Oh,
that
man.
It was not true.
True, probably about 17, 18.
All right. Are you guys ready for the next wing?
No, but let's do
we
it.
gotta move along.
I want to move along.
So Ghost Garlic from Wing Shack.
Ghost garlic.
Once again, this is our third Wing Shack sauce. Let's get into it.
Oh man.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. Hey.
I'm about to my smoothie.
That one's pretty good.
That one brought it.
I'll say, like, when I go to Wing Shack, this is the sauce I go for, the Ghost Garlic.
Every time, just
Every-
casually.
well,
That's what
yeah,
you
or
enjoy.
I get that if I do a sauce, but sometimes I'm a dry rub guy, so I get the lemon pepper. Ghost Garlic's great though. All right, now let's talk some basketball. I'm gonna give you 4 players, and you're gonna rank them from best to worst.
In what area?
What area?
Yeah, like
What?
best basketball player?
Best basketball player, or just in your opinions, okay?
Okay.
LeBron James,
Oh.
Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Bill Russell.
We're doing.
You can go first.
We're going best to worst.
Best to worst?
Best to worst. Actually, go worst to best. Go worst to best.
I mean, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. He is the greatest of all time,
I
hands
completely
down.
agree.
Hands down.
Stapleton agrees.
If you were raised right, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. I'd say Kobe was number 2. I didn't really like Kobe until he passed away, and I started reading about him and learning more. I read his book, and pretty awesome guy.
Why Kobe over LeBron?
Oh, can I finish my list?
Yeah, no, sorry.
Oh, I hate LeBron.
Oh, I know that because I'm your
just-
Michael Jordan guy.
I have
yeah.
a disdain for him. He, I have to deal with the repercussions of the LeBron era. Kids flop. They are over dramatic. We see it in high school basketball where they brought in the flop rule because of LeBron James. We have to deal with it on our team. I just don't like. I wouldn't want to be on his team. That's what I always kind of ask myself. It seems all about him. He runs the team. He controls the coaching staff. He controls everything, and I don't like that. That influence and power that he kind of imposes on everyone. He has a team struggling a little bit. Let's fire the coach. Let's get rid of some players. That's kind of how he handles things. I don't like that.
So Bill Russell over LeBron? Or-
Yeah, LeBron's last.
LeBron's last,
He is
okay.
last place. He's number 4. Bill Russell is number 3. He's a winner. I met Bill Russell. I have a picture of him at the Cincinnati airport. He's humble. He's a team guy. He won as a player and as a coach. That's my list.
What about you, Brockway?
All right, so bottom to top, right? So my dad would disagree, but Bill Russell's, I'm gonna put him at 4. So he's coming in last. He's a big man playing with a lot of smaller guys.
Lots of plumbers playing back
He's
then.
a winner though.
He's
What,
a-
13 NBA champions?
He's a winner, but he was just a different dude playing in a different era. So
I mean, he was playing against guys that
Yeah,
worked 9
like-
to 5.
Yeah, he wasn't going against the best athletes in the world at that time. So I'm going to put him 4. Not that he's not a good player, but I'm going to put him at 4. Now I'm going to go LeBron 3. I agree with a lot of the stuff you said. He's always looking for the call. It's me and not team. It's about him. And so he didn't make those around him better, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I would say, though, for like LeBron, that he's played for such a long time at such a high caliber that you got to give him some sort of respect. So,
I didn't say I didn't respect him. He's
yeah.
number 3. I got him
Yeah.
3.
No,
Well,
he
he's
was-
played that long with load management.
Yeah.
He takes every 3 games off. I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
And then Kobe Bryant, number 2. Like, he's the closest, in my opinion, to Jordan. Like he made his teammates better. I mean, he could shoot, he could score, he could drive. I mean, he was a good defender, and he just was like a dude, man. Kobe was a dude. But growing up in Illinois, I'm a Chicago dude, all the way, and so it just so happens that the greatest basketball player played for my team. And so Jordan.
He went and watched him play.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so my favorite player growing up was Larry Bird.
Yeah.
And so Celtics and Bulls, but I got to see Bird and Jordan on the same court. That's pretty cool.
Why wasn't Larry on your list?
I didn't put him. Vasa did make this list. I'll say that part, but I would have put someone like more of a shooter on there. But I do have a follow-up. So we talked about like some of the best players in the NBA, but who's like the best players you've seen come through Windsor High School and like that you've coached?
Well, I mean, I'll start from 9 years ago. I think we had two kids. One was Tyler McGinnis and Kirk Relford. They were on our team 8 or 9 years ago. They were both guards, and they could both shoot it at a really high level. And we had a really good team, but it was really hard to shut us down because we had two of them. They weren't just one of them. They actually got co-Player of the Year awards in our conference. So those two were really good that I know of. Trying to think of other. You've been here longer than I have.
Yeah, so I've only coached for 3 years. And so just guys in our program for the last 3 years since I've been here, we've had a lot of good players because we've had a lot of success in the last 3 years. But Johnny Reed, man, I loved watching that kid play because he's just that guy.
He's a leader.
That guy. He's a leader. He does all the dirty work. He'll score. He'll do it all. So Johnny Reed is one of my favorite players to be a part of the program as far as coaching goes. And I know I'm going to make some other guys mad because we've had a lot of good players since then. And obviously, Hageman's have been good. I really enjoyed back in the day watching Jaden Kinnis. He was a good basketball player in my opinion. Like got after it.
Jaden Kinnis.
Yeah, Jaden. But like, yeah, when you talked about Tyler and Kirk, those guys were those were pretty good guys to watch.
Kobe Green was another
Kobe
good
was
one.
another good player. Yep. We've had a lot of good players come through here. And so I know there's other guys that we left off, but there's been a lot of good players. But those are some of the ones that come to mind for me.
I think Madden has the potential to
Madden.
be.
Oh yeah, definitely.
One of the all-time. I mean, he's still got another year, but he could potentially.
He's
be
already had his 1,000 points.
Yeah, in Madden, I mean, not that levels. I mean, well, it does. I mean, in the 18 years I've been here, since I've really followed basketball, he's probably going to be our true legit high-level D1 kid.
Did you ever see Emerson play?
Nope.
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
He's the guy that's on the record.
Was he 05, 06 or something like that?
Yeah,
I think he was
early 2000s.
I think he was,
like that.
before I got here, so. But I heard he was a baller too.
That's awesome. All right, are you guys? I feel like we've been just prolonging this.
Yeah,
So
dude,
let's
yeah.
go on to the Bear Hot by Wing Shack.
This is still Wing.
Last Wing Shack sauce.
Okay.
And then this is the hottest one they have at Wing Shack. So.
All right.
This is the one you took.
Yeah.
You had. Where you
No,
got your meal?
Buffalo Wild Wings is where I had my I did the hot wing challenge.
And this is Wing Shack's hottest one they serve.
Hottest one.
Okay.
You might want you can start taking just little bites now if you want.
What would you recommend?
Yeah, what do you recommend?
You could take little bites, but don't get it on your lips. You don't want it to linger on your lips.
Okay.
But
Okay,
Start
little
off
bites?
with just
yeah,
little
we'll
bites.
just take little bites. Yeah, I got it on my finger, so I can't touch
Okay.
my face now.
That one didn't. The third one started with almost a burn right out the gate. This one, it must come
just
late.
wait.
It must come late. Oh, there it is.
No, there it is. All right. So, you both had an interesting childhood, to say the least. So, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
I'm burning houses down. You're hanging out.
Hey, I did the
forever.
fire stuff too.
So, but Brockway, this question's for you.
All right.
We heard a story about you as a young boy with a bad experience with spaghetti, and it ended up on your mom's head.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that story?
Yeah, okay. All right. I'd like to say I was like young, like when I say young, like an elementary school kid, but it was probably more like junior high school, maybe freshman year. I grew up in a house that was built in like 1890 something. So it was an old house. And so we didn't have like heat like we have now, where it's like through like a furnace like this, where it was, I don't know, I'm not a heating expert, but our heat came from like a radiator, and then we had holes, like grates that they would put in the ceiling so the heat would go up to the second floor from the first floor. And so my room sat above the family room, so if y'all look up like in the ceiling here, picture that being kind of a grate.
Yeah.
And I must have the flu or something, and all of a sudden my mom must have heard me making noises or whatever, and she went to go to the grate to yell up to say, "Hey, are you okay?" And that's where I just rolled over and then threw up down the grate, and it came through and landed on my mom. And it was, spaghetti and all of it, and all I heard was a couple cuss words, and I felt better, but my mom, not so much.
Well, Rack, now we have a question for you. You're quite the adventurous type. You're an avid hunter, you enjoy the outdoors. Can you tell us about the time you got lost in Yellowstone National Park when you were 11?
I remember camps. We were camping. We were gonna go on a hike to a waterfall. I had to use the restroom, and so pretty confident outdoorsman. I'm like, "Hey, you guys go. I'll meet up with you." And so I go to the bathroom, and I think I know where the trail is going, but I'd never been to Yellowstone before, so I actually had no idea. And so I used the restroom, and I'm like, I'm just gonna cut through these trees here and head that way, because for whatever reason, I thought that's where their trail went. And so I cut through the forest trying to meet up with my parents and my brother, and I don't know how long it was. After a while, I was like, well, I'm not meeting up with the trail. I can't find anybody, and I just kept walking and walking and walking. And I started to get scared, and I had no idea where I was at that point. And so I remember, I was obviously scared of grizzly bears, but I got to this open meadow, and there was a herd of bison there. And so I was like, okay, now I had like kind of skirt around them. I ultimately got to a road where I hitchhiked when I was 11. Back in that day, I don't recommend hitchhiking to any young person in today's world, but some family like picked me up, and I was like crying, and like I was completely disoriented and lost. And they took us. I told them what campground we were at. And we went back, and there were cops there, and I reunited with my family, and my parents were crying and mad at me at the same time. But
so how long did it take you to get back to your family?
A couple hours, I think. It wasn't like a full day, but I definitely was lost, and my parents were definitely scared, and I had a little bit of an adventure that day.
I guess. We have the bomb next. If you guys are ready.
Da bomb?
Da
bomb. In my opinion, I think this is the worst one on this board. I've had this on 3 occasions, and it's just really sharp pain. It doesn't taste amazing.
Oh,
I'm just telling you, it only gets better from here, in my opinion.
And so we could cut it in little pieces and try it that way
Yeah.
too, right? Is what oh, come on, cut. Oh, no.
All right, guys.
Mine's not cutting.
Ready? Cheers. Cheers.
All right.
I'm doing the whole thing. I don't care.
I tried to.
That one, I don't like that one.
It's in my nose.
It's in my whole body.
I can feel it going down into my stomach.
The bomb. They need to change the name. I was going to say something else when I refer to teens.
What?
Oh boy.
We talk about certain players, certain teams.
All right, guys. Your next question, this is for both of you. You've both been teachers here at Windsor for a while now. What are some of like the changes you've seen in our high school since the time you've been here? Changes with like the school in general, students, teachers, all of the above.
It's not working. But they're really like that's been most of the change, just the size of the school, and then the buildings itself. But the things that have been the same is I've been here 18 years. I had opportunities to go to other schools, and whether kids like to hear it or not, we have good kids here at Windsor. And I commuted from Broomfield for 14 of my 18 years, which is 84 miles a day. And like I said, I had opportunities to teach closer to home, which would have made my life a lot easier as far as commuting goes. But the Windsor kids are, in my opinion, some of the best kids around, and that's why I teach here. And so that's been a constant all the way through. We're good at sports, we're good at academics, and we just have great kids at Windsor High. So that's what I like about Windsor.
Yeah, I agree with everything he said. I mean, the building, it's hard to even remember what the building was like. We had like 3 separate buildings.
Yeah.
We had all of our staff meetings in the Fireside room.
Yep.
Yeah. Just at one point, the school had like 1,600 or 1,700 school kids in it before Severance opened up. But yeah, just changes that are changing everywhere, or that are occurring everywhere. But I agree with everything Brockway has to say about kids are great, parents are great, programs are great. Yeah, it's a great place. Shows like this are great.
Yeah. No, yeah, we have a fantastic broadcasting system for our sports, and we get to do fun things like this. I got to host CHOP last year. That was really fun with the culinary class.
That is cool.
My sisters have even told me, I've had sisters here like 6-7 years ago, and they're so surprised when they come back because it's changed so much even in that small period of time. Like they didn't get this whole innovation center with all these new classes, but yeah. So we have
Peer pressure.
Mad Dog 357.
Oh, God.
357 is the Scoville unit, or it's 357,000 Scoville units.
What does that mean?
It's pretty hot.
Are you going bite size first? Okay.
But yeah, this is I've talked to other people that have done this show. They've said this one's the worst for them. But the bomb have had that 3 times and it's just been bad. So I feel like, I don't know. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I don't like the taste of that one.
Mm-mm.
We'll do the second bite. Just get it done with.
Oh. I just inhaled like some of the stuff in my throat.
Ooh.
I don't like the flavor of that one either.
All right. This question's for both of you. Coach Rack, you played basketball at CSU, and Coach Brockway, you got to play baseball at the collegiate level. What advice would you give to a student here at Windsor, or any students in high school thinking about playing their sport at the next level?
Gotta be a little crazy. You gotta be willing to do what others won't. You gotta sacrifice a ton. You gotta be passionate about it. I mean, there's so many good athletes and players, whatever sport. Oh my. Out there that you gotta be. Oh, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. You gotta just be a little really committed to it, and then it's like all the everyday kind of thing. No days off. You gotta practice. You gotta train. You gotta do all kinds of things that others won't do because it's really hard. You gotta separate yourself from the pack.
And I mean, you got to play at a high level. You got to play at the Division I level. But what would you say to someone that just like loves their sport but isn't quite good enough to go that high? Would you suggest going to like smaller school and just keep playing the sport you love?
You know, if you love the sport and you can continue playing, I mean, why wouldn't you, right? I mean, that window of opportunity to play is pretty small. You know, when you're old like us, you don't have that opportunity anymore, and I think that's what coaching sports, coaching basketball gives us, is that we can still kind of be a part of it, but not be a part of it. But yeah, absolutely, 100%. If you love it, you know, don't worry about it, what level it is. Like, it doesn't matter. If you love it, keep playing, because you won't have that opportunity in 2 or 3 years. You know, it's over when it's over.
Brockway?
And this one's sticking around.
Likes to do that to you.
Well, now I've got the question. It's about playing college.
Playing college, like what advice would you give to someone that wants to play?
You got to love it. You can't like it. You got to love it. And in high school, playing 3 sports, you know, it came kind of easy to do a lot of the, you know, basketball, football, baseball. And then when you go to college, even at where I went to a junior college for baseball, because most of my students that have had me in class know I was not a good student from an academic standpoint, so my options were very limited. So I was at a junior college for baseball, and even at that level, you get there, everyone is all conference, you know, and that was hard for me to not be the guy, you know, and have to try to fit in. And so I found out right away that I was a very small fish still in a big pond, and my ego couldn't handle that. So,
all right,
that one went down the wrong way.
Yeah, I know, it's still sticking around. Like, I don't think it's gotten any better.
Well, yeah, since peer pressure me into that one, I finished that wing and then went back and picked up some scraps from a previous wing, and so now it's got the 2 wing sauces fighting one another. So that's not good.
The wing sauces are fighting.
The wing sauces
They're having
are
a fight
fighting,
in your
and the
stomach.
milk is not working. So
Yeah. I mean, might as well. I mean, this isn't getting any better, so we might.
oh yeah, I don't.
Get
Yeah,
into it.
yeah, fellas, I'll reach for this one here, but if this is the hottest one, there's
We
no
have Elijah's extreme regret.
there's no guarantees that I'm gonna knock out that whole one.
Oh my goodness.
Did he give you milk?
You
Okay.
can
I
have
might.
some.
I might have to.
I'm dying too.
Maybe I'll try the
We're out
honey.
of water too.
Oh, the honey. We have not tried honey. We've not tried the honey
Okay.
yet. Are we just going, right?
Yeah. Should we just get it done?
Have you had this one, right?
This is the only one I haven't had.
Oh God.
Kind of lightheaded.
Oh yeah, same. Stomach's churning. All right.
All right.
Let's-
We ready?
Let's take our bite.
Okay.
Are we doing the whole thing?
I went halves first, man.
I'm going full in.
I'm going with Cam. Come on,
You
Doc.
going all in? All right, I'm gonna do a 2-bite all in. Go down, Wing.
All right.
All right. Hey.
Cam, I want to ask you a question.
Oh.
Oh,
All right. Ask me a question.
What do you love about playing defense?
Well, I've always been undersized. I used to be big. Like, I think I've been 5'8" since 8th grade. I think I used to be sort of tall, but I've stayed the same height throughout all of high school. And I've been blessed with great coaches, including all the Windsor coaches. But I think it was in particular Kenny Smith who really made me like realize that defense is the most important part of the game. Like, I just remember many practices we had where we just drill in, like the practice we had yesterday, which was just defense focused. That would be our practices every single day until we get it right. Like through drill that's like locked into like me, Kyler, that's in our head. Some of like the Severance guys. I'm actually blessed to play with Kenny this summer. So I'll be playing with Kenny and some of the Severance boys. But I don't know, I've always been undersized, never been a scorer. Never like, I don't know, just felt like the thing I was able to bring to the table was defense. And just, yeah, being a role player, that's just something I take pride in, especially because basketball isn't my main sport. Golf's my main sport, but just gotta love it. But now I'm gonna shoot a question back at you. You had a really solid career at CSU. You averaged 5.6 points a game, 2.4 rebounds in your 4 years there. You played 91 games. But can you tell us about the time you made ESPN's Not Top 10 highlights? We searched for the clip, couldn't find it, but you need to tell us the story.
Yeah. It was a give me 1 second. I'm trying to make this milk last.
My milk's even hot.
We were playing UNLV, and they were in the top 25. It was at Moby, and we had a 3-point lead with I don't know, 5-6 seconds to go, and they were taking the ball out all the way at the other end of their hoop, and I need this to chill out a little bit.
The faster we go, the quicker we get off.
And they called a timeout, and my coach said, when they catch the ball, when they inbound it, foul them right away. We were in double bonus. They shoot 2 free throws. We win the game by 1. Right? Don't give them a chance to shoot a 3. So they inbound it. My guy catches it, and I wrap him up right away. We're like 80 feet from the hoop. Whistle is blown, and he chucks it up. The official counted it as in the act of shooting. So he got 3 free throws. And he made all 3. And they went and beat us in overtime. And my phone was ringing off the hook that night because all my buddies were clowning on me because they zoomed in on me and said, "What were you thinking?" Basically. And I was on the bench like head down. But one of the advantages of being old is you can't find that stuff.
All right, now final question for you, Brockway. This deals with your ability to get off the ski lift. And can you tell us about the last time you went skiing? Fell off the lift and you blamed it on your son?
What?
Well, yeah. Hold on one sec. And then my son growing up was like, "Dad, you don't want to go ski, you want to go ski." And so he finally talked me into bringing him up. And so him and I went up skiing, and all of a sudden he's like, "Dad, I'm going to be so much better than you skiing." And all of a sudden it was like riding a bike. I got back on it, did some greens with him. Next thing you know, I'm on blues, having fun, skiing, and everything kind of was clicking. And it's been, probably 20 years since I was on skis. And so having fun all day. Like I said, didn't fall on the slopes, and doing, great skiing. Got a little tired, my body's gotten out of shape as I've gotten older, so I got a little bit bigger. And so we're getting off the lift, and told my son, "Hey, when we get off this lift, you just want to kind of turn out, and so we can clear from the chairlift so we don't get hit." Well, next thing you know, I fall, and I was probably about 300 some pounds then, and I hit the ground, and all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, and then some lady's like, "Hey, somebody help that poor old man." And so I couldn't get out of the way because I was in pain with my ribs, and my son's laughing. And so when the ski patrol or the lift people kind of came over and dragged me away because they had to stop the lifts for me. And so they dragged me off of the area where I was at.
And they checked me out and asked if I was okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. It's just my pride. And so then I was like, my son, who's Josh, he's a senior up at Wyoming right now. I'm like, Josh, man, you crossed my tips and made me fall. So I put all the blame on him because I didn't want to admit that I was probably a little tired and fell on the getting off the chairlift and having the lift actually have to stop because of me.
Coach Rack, Coach Brockway, we did it. We made it through. Finally, we got this camera, this camera, this camera. Anything going on in your life, anything you want to tell the audience, let them know.
Playoff game this Friday. Pack the house. 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, same. Ditto, man. Let's bring it. Pueblo East coming up. Let them know what Windsor's all about, fellas. And fans, let's go.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you guys for joining us. And thank you for joining us on Windsor on Fire. Until next time.